Welcome to the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. Tonight, 32 gladiators will take on the legendary half-mile oval. This is the ARCA Bristol 200. The ARCA Menard Series, all of the teams are ready.
Long day, have fun. Let's go winners.
Green flag is in the air.
This is a great opportunity for these guys to showcase their talent.
It's so much more intense than I anticipated.
We have trouble.
Oh, little retaliation.
We got a big crash. This is a big one. I think we're going to see them in victory lane many more times.
I'm so happy.
We are ready to go racing. And no doubt about it, we are in store for an intense night of action. A big field, packed house later on this afternoon. We have a doubleheader coming your way, Truck Series action later on. But let's get right to it here from some of the storylines. A couple of our drivers standing by with our pit reporters. First up, here's Jamie Howe.
Jamie, for Toni Breidinger, she's only doing a partial season, so she's not in it for the overall points championship. She's in it for the experience and coming off her career best finish with that third place in Kansas. What does that do for your momentum at this stage of your career?
Yeah, that definitely, I feel like, helps kind of give me some confidence in myself and the car and in my ability. So I definitely think, you know, kind of just riding the wave of momentum. Hopefully we can get another solid finish tonight.
Now today in qualifying, you did have a slight issue. You qualified back 22nd, but you had the throttle pedal brake. You're going to have to go to the rear of the field. There's 31 cars that's going to be in front of you. How do you manage that?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I feel like the bottom's pretty dominant, so I'm going to have to definitely work the top early on. And this track's so small, so I feel like by the time, you know, the leaders cross the start flag, you know, you're already half a track back, so I'm definitely going to have to get going a little bit, be pretty aggressive on the start, but I know our car is fast. I think we had a pretty solid practice run. Just didn't get to really showcase that in qualifying because of our issue, but all good. We'll make our way back up there.
And she has a new crew chief for her, and Billy Venturini, that she gets to work with tonight too. Heather?
Well, Jamie, Luke Fenhaus comes into this race tonight with 2 wins on the ARCA season and, of course, going for that championship, 20 points behind William Sawalich. So you have a little bit of an uphill climb to make that happen. How are you going to approach today's race?
Well, I think you take it a lap at a time. Obviously, there'll be a lot of lap cars, you know, throughout this race, and a lot of good competition here at Bristol, and just a new racetrack for all of us. So excited to get going and have a fast 28 Chevrolet. Obviously, we start fourth, so we're in a good position, but we'll play it out as we go and kind of make the moves with lap cars and hopefully land ourselves in victory lane at the end of the night.
Now, this is your inaugural season for the team of Pinnacle Racing Group. So talk about your season so far and what it would mean to you to put you in victory lane and get that sword today.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Obviously, I love Bristol and have dreamed of racing here ever since I was a little kid. So to come here and put on a good performance and in front of all these fans and just end the year on a good note would be pretty special to us. So that's the plan.
Good luck. Jamie Little.
Thank you, ladies. And joining us tonight in the booth is a very special guest, a 2-time winner here at Bristol Motor Speedway. He's driver of the number 12 Menards Ford, and he's kind of good at this TV thing. We're excited to welcome in Ryan Blaney. Look at that fresh face back in the day. Happy to have him. Happy to have you on this, Thursday night of racing. As I mentioned, it's a doubleheader. I'm Jamie Little. That's Phil Parsons. And this is Ryan Blaney. So, Ryan, welcome back to the booth. Glad to have you.
I'm happy to be here. The ARCA Menards series is always special, obviously, with Menards. Huge partner of ours. It's always great to do this stuff on the TV. Your jacket is like Menard yellow, which we talked about that before. John's going to love it. I know he's watching.
No planning behind this.
Yeah. But no, it's awesome to be back. I love watching races at Bristol, no matter what series, because they put on a great show, and I'm excited for tonight's race.
Well, as we just showed, you're a 2-time winner here, Truck Series. Actually, you won in the Xfinity car first. What does it take to find success at this place? Especially, it can be so intimidating for these young drivers.
It can be. You know, I made my first start maybe in 2011 here, 2012, and it is really intimidating. You know, I grew up watching races here and watching my dad run here, you know, 2 times a year. But until you actually get to feel the racetrack, how much the turns just push you into the seat and kind of just squish you down and can't see in front of your bumper, you know. So it takes a little while to kind of get used to it, but I feel like just accepting it, you know, accepting what the racetrack is and understanding that you need to be moving around throughout the race as the lanes change. I think the best cars and drivers you're going to see do that tonight.
Well, Phil, tonight we have a huge turnout of drivers. It's the largest field we've seen in a while, but there's different agendas, different things we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yeah, there are. There's 32 cars in there. This is the largest short track field we've had in over 6 years. And not only are we going to have the ARCA regulars here that are racing for the win tonight, but we're going to crown a champion. The ARCA Menards East Series, this is a combination race. As you can see, look in the middle of your screen here, William Sawalich is our point leader. Luke Fenhaus, we just heard from Luke Fenhaus a few moments ago. He's 20 points behind. This is their finale of the season, race number 8. We will crown that champion tonight. But not only that, but we have the top 2 point guys from the West Series as well, Sean Hangarani and Landon Lewis. So we certainly have a stacked field here, and I don't know that I've seen a better short track field here in the ARCA Menards Series in a long, long time.
You know, every week, Ryan, on our shows, we talk about Jesse Love and William Sawalich, and for good reason. Jesse Love's gone to victory lane 9 times. What do you like in this kid?
Yeah, I just think their drive to really be well every single week, right? They do a great job. The way they race people is always exciting, and they're going to do a really good job tonight, I'm sure.
All right, well, the drivers are ready to go. Let's go trackside to fire those engines.
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome content creator Matt Mitchell. Drivers, start your engines!
Engines are fired. The ARCA Menards Series will kick things off. 3 nights of racing coming at you from Bristol. We'll drop that green flag next. ARCA Racing on FS1 is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. And Bounty. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. And we welcome you back to Bristol Motor Speedway. And what a beautiful day it has been, a beautiful evening on tap for us here tonight. Well, earlier today, we had practice followed by the fastest man here. Take a ride around the 18 with William Sawalich once again.
It's
picking
amazing.
up the General Tire
Ryan
pole
was talking
award.
how aggressive you have to be on this racetrack, and you could see it right there from his onboard.
Yeah, fully committed. You know, I mean, he's on the chip. He's really ready to drive it off in the corner. It's crazy you can drive off so much deeper than you think, but it's super easy to overdrive the entry to the corner. So there's a fine line, but your commitment level is so huge because you know the banking of the racetrack, and that it's not PJ1 anymore, but the little grip they put in the bottom is going to help you out.
It has all the names. So William Sawalich, 6th career pole he picks up today, and the Menards starting grid on the bottom of your screen. And we have a couple onboards tonight.
Yeah, we're going to ride along with Frankie Muniz. This is the General Tire onboard. Frankie had an issue in practice, was not able to qualify, so he will start his Ford Performance Ford back in the 30th spot. And we're going to go to the other end of the field. We're going to ride along with the guy we just saw win that pole, William Sawalich. This is the Sioux Chief onboard. This is the Starkey Sound Gear Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. William's going to try to win that East Series championship here tonight.
We were watching that 18 in practice. He'll be bringing us some great angles throughout this race tonight. We've got a lot of rookies in the field, and we highlight somebody different each week. This week, the Bounty Rookie Spotlight is the number 6 for Rev Racing, LeVar Scott, 20 years old, out of Carneys Point, New Jersey. 3rd in the East Points, but man, look at those finishes. Consistency is key. He's finished 8th or better in 6 national races this year.
Ryan, how would you like to have 7 races and those are your finishes and you not have a chance at the championship tonight in the last race?
That would stink. You know, I actually met LeVar. He was a part of an advanced auto parts thing with the short track program, and a super nice guy. Really cool to see his success this year, but really consistent. I mean, so many top 5s, not a finish worse of 8th, you know, so yeah, I mean, that's wild. You have such a good year like that and don't have a shot at the championship, but you know, he's done such a good job, you know, getting experience and running well, finishing races. That's what you need to do.
Well, let's hear about some more stories to watch tonight. Heather DeBow.
And Landon Lewis in the number 97 car. This is his debut here at Bristol, but he had some help today from none other than Kevin Harvick. Yes, he gave him some tips, but Kevin also helped him in Dover, and Landon didn't listen exactly to what he said, so he actually got called to his motorhome and had a little bit of a butt chewing. So Kevin is watching tonight, and he told Landon, you stay on that yellow line in the corners, otherwise you're going to hear from me. Jamie Howe.
Well, starting in second is our championship point leader, Jesse Love, and he said that his goal tonight, it's not about preserving points or getting as many as possible. He said it's all about winning, and in order to do that, he knows that with William Sawalich in front of him, he's going to have to attack on him, get in front of him as quickly as possible, and then I quote, he's going to go through traffic like a rabid lion. Jamie.
Look out competition, right? No power for the 31, we're being told. That's Tim Goulet. His wife Rita was in the car earlier, and they were going to start in the back because they made the driver swap, but still issues continuing here.
Yeah, tough break. As much effort as you put in just getting here to the racetrack, it's hard to see.
How about Heather's report about Landon Lewis getting a little bit of a butt chewing? You keep it down there on that yellow line, and Ryan, you talked about it. You're not sure how much they're going to be willing to move up the racetrack. They're going to stay down there on that traction compound.
Yeah, it really just depends. You know, it's always kind of hard to tell when you watch the ARCA Menard Series race here, you know, the truck race. It just, you don't know until the race gets progressing, and if people want to venture up there, because it takes a while to run it in, so you have to have multiple people kind of doing it for it to have any kind of grip, and the bottom has to go away, so it might be a little too early in the weekend for that to happen, but we'll find out as they're coming to the green flag.
William Sawalich will lead him. That 18 car has been so dominant the last few years here. Keep your eye on him, but he's got Jesse Love in the 20. Green flag is in the air. We are racing at Bristol with issues right on the start there for the 97.
More than likely, Landon Lewis maybe got a bump from behind with great save on the bottom. He's going to lose several positions, though.
Yeah, it looked like Sawalich couldn't really get going. I think maybe the 97 was into him a little bit, and then you know, Connor Jones got into the back of the 97 and made it even worse. So did a great job of not having any damage to start this race off, and now can finally get in the rhythm.
So Landon Lewis, you're seeing on your screen there in the 97, back to 8th, and caution out already. Hard to see the.
That's 0-3, I believe, of Alex Clubb.
So Alex Clubb goes around on lap number 3.
Yeah, Alex started back in the 27th spot. Had a top 10 finish at DuQuoin the last time we were on dirt, but more than likely enough damage that that'll be terminal.
And how frustrating. You talk about just how long these days are to get to this point, and it's over before it even starts.
Yeah, it was a bottom of 3 off of 4, and it just gets so tight here. You know, it's just so hard to do that and run 3 wide, and unfortunate, yeah, to end your day early in the race like that when you're excited to be here, and that definitely stinks.
So Ryan, let's look back at the start here initially.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see where it kind of originated. You know, the 97 is laying back a little bit. It looks like the 18 missed the gear. I think he missed the shift.
Yeah, I think without a doubt. Yeah,
and it stacked, and the 97 did a great heads-up job to get left and not run in the back of the 18. But yeah, it looks like Sawalich missed maybe going from 2nd to 3rd, and it stacked everybody.
Yeah, it's amazing that Landon Lewis was able to avoid. You see a little bit of damage to the right front corner, but that's minimal compared to what it could have been.
Yeah.
And it could have been Sawalich's night as well.
Yeah, that would have been a bad ending, an early exit.
As we just set him up and said how dominant the 18 has been for the last few years here. And of course, he's got the championship on the line, trying to bring home that East Championship, which we've seen it happen with Sammy Smith twice, Ty Gibbs, all won here.
Yeah. Let's take a listen on board. I'd be curious to see, actually.
First, yeah, that was the old 2-1 shift instead of the 2-3 shift.
Yeah,
that's going to really zing that engine too. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that and make sure that he doesn't have any engine issues.
Yeah, he didn't just not get it into gear. He went to first straight up, and that's frightening. I'll tell you, when you're meaning to go up a gear and you go down a gear, and you're not planning on that, right? So you're not thinking of that. It's frightening. So be curious to see if that thing turned too many RPM. Or if it hurt, you know, drive shaft. 20 has a little bit of damage here. Doesn't look too bad, but
yeah, everything behind the tire. A little bit of a parachute on the left rear. They might want to try to tidy that up a little bit, but
Eventful start for our
Wonder where
front
that came
row
from.
guys.
Yeah.
Did that happen on the initial start too? I didn't see that.
So Jesse Love, remember there's just 3 races to go in the ARCA Menards series. He's trying to wrap up the championship. Has a pretty hefty lead right now coming in, about 141 points over second as it sits right now. Now let's see what happens with Jesse Love.
Oh, okay. So Jesse checked up because he didn't want to beat the 18 to the line, and that's a tricky situation. Yeah. So he got hit from behind there because he didn't want to beat the 18 in the line. I wonder if they would have penalized him for that. I don't think so because he missed a shift.
Yeah, he doesn't know that the 18 missed a shift. Yeah. All he knows is all of a sudden he has momentum over their 18. So I can understand why he did that, because you absolutely are not supposed to beat the leader on an initial start to the start-finish line. So that's something I'm sure ARCA officials would have taken into consideration. Watched our onboard camera from Williams-Sawalich to see what happened. Heather.
Well, for Frankie Muniz, his troubles continue. He's having radio issues. He actually pulled his earbud out of his helmet. So under the break, they're going to have to take that 5 minutes to give him a new set of earbuds going forward in the race.
Troubles have continued and plagued this team now for about a month and a half, Ryan.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, Frankie's a great guy. We've met him at a couple Ford events, and super nice guy. Just excited to go racing. And it's tough to see he's had a rough year, but hopefully it smoothens out as the night goes on.
Hopefully this restart's going to be a little smoother than the initial start.
So here we go again. Restart for the first time. Jesse Love out front. Williams-Sawalich behind him.
I think very wisely Williams-Sawalich said there's a gap here. Let me get down to the bottom. We'll let somebody else figure out if there's going to be an outside.
And to me, watching here, the grip lane on the bottom, it looks wider than it's been in the past. You know, it looks almost a full car width, to where I feel like last year when we were here, it was only maybe half a car. And so it's good because it gives you more room, but you have to commit so much to it. If you slip off of it, like the 97 of Landon Lewis just did there, you're in no man's land.
See, just in the center of the corner, he was not able to get back to the throttle. That allowed Jack Wood to ease out in front of him.
He's holding good on the outside, though. I'm surprised. But I feel like as more cars get going, you know, heat usually activates that grip on the bottom. So it's a little slimy to start, you know, the race until, you know, you get a handful of laps in. Then it really seems to get going, and you have to get on the bottom.
And you're going to see cars lapping cars, and that's going to put a little bit of rubber in that second lane as well. So I think we'll see some side-by-side racing as time goes on.
So Jesse Love credited with leading every lap so far. 12 laps and counting now. His first lap's led at Bristol, and this is his third start.
Yeah, you know, now lap traffic is going to play a big role. You know, we talked about 32 cars being here. Oh, he's loose. Jesse Love's super loose getting in the corner. I wonder if that quarter panel's got anything to do with it. You know, we don't talk about Bristol being the most aero track, but you can kind of see the left side of the spoilers pushed down.
Problem for Fenhaus.
Luke Fenhaus off the pace in the 28, started this race in third. Didn't look like he had much damage on the nose from that contact with the 20 of Jesse Love, but he's certainly losing spots.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a hole under the right front headlight.
But that's not going to cause this issue here.
Oh, the hood's coming up now.
Heather, what are you hearing?
Blew a tire. Tire might be coming apart.
Well, Luke Fenhaus just came over the radio to tell his team that something is rattling really hard on the right front. They told him, keep an eye on it, but you might have some stuff on your tires, but that's why the 28 dropped back.
Battle for the lead right here as they're already getting into lap traffic. Jesse Love does a nice job maneuvering around them. Going back to Luke Fenhaus real quick. Remember, second in points for the East right now, 20 points back, so every position matters.
Yeah,
Jesse Love isn't scared to go up there.
This is what I would say, a gaggle of cars, Ryan.
Yeah.
And the leaders are coming through in a hurry.
I wasn't sure there was going to be any grip in the second lane, and Jesse Love said, I'm going to see if there's any in the third lane.
You know, I figured lap traffic would make a big problem tonight. You know, 32 cars, tons of cars. The speed difference is pretty large, you know, especially in a place like this where you're rattling off, 15.5-second laps in race trim. So it's going to be wild. I think it might actually be good because it'll force drivers to move up the racetrack and be able to try to rubber in that middle or very top lane. But we'll find out.
Things happen so quickly at this half-mile oval. Stay with us as Jesse Love continues to lead William Sawalich 20 laps in. Welcome back to ARCA Menard Series Racing from Bristol, and you see it there. Big trouble for Luke Fenhaus. We talked about the issues. Ryan Blaney forecasted it perfectly. You saw that maybe something was going on with that right front.
Yeah, you know, it was weird. Like I said, he had the damage below the right front headlight, and something must have came through and punctured the tire, or moved something to where something was rubbing in the tire, and it's just slowly going away. But that really stinks, you know, to have damage early and blow out a tire at a bad spot too, and Jack Wood getting caught up in it. That stinks.
Jack had a really good run going here. He's got damage to the left front and the right side.
On board with Frankie Muniz here, who's battling his own issues. Boom, you see it there. Luke Fenhaus to the outside wall. So you know what that means, Phil. Not good for the championship hunt.
No, sure it doesn't. Luke Fenhaus came in here with a chance. If William Sawalich would have finished 14th, no matter what Luke could have done, he still would have won the championship. But if William Sawalich had any kind of issues, like he certainly did at the initial start, then it put Fenhaus in a position that maybe he could do something, but that's pretty much going to take care of it.
But a great save by Jack Wood. The 51 car looks pretty good. We'll step aside. Stay with us as cleanup continues. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway under caution for the second time as cleanup continues. We had trouble with one so far. That's Luke Fenhaus, Heather.
Yeah, not the outcome that they wanted coming into today's race. And in fact, that tire was definitely going down. They actually found a gash in the right rear as well, so they changed both right side tires. But good thing is no suspension was broken underneath the right front, so they put a lot of bare bond and fixed it. But Shane Huffman said he's just really proud of this team and all the effort they put in their first season and all their hard work, as it just showed as they tried to get him fixed up. Jamie?
We talked to Toni Breidinger. She had to start the race at the back because of the throttle pedal braking during qualifying. She has now moved herself all the way up into the 13th position, still on the lead lap. She says the balance is good. Billy Venturini, the crew chief, he says our car is fast. He said watch for us to get inside of that top 10. Jamie.
And she's certainly on the move. Thank you, Jamie, for that. Well, William Sawalich is our Sioux Chief fast track driver. Moving on up, he's racing double duty today once again in the Craftsman Truck Series. What he's done on track has been very impressive. 3 East wins, 748 laps led as they continue here. He's led 1 lap so far tonight. And every time he gets in a truck, a car, Ryan, he's been impressive.
Yeah, he really has. You know, it's been I've enjoyed watching, you know, the ARCA Menard Series this year. There's been a lot of, whether it's, you know, rookie drivers in it, veterans, you know, people who are jumping in and just doing really well. Startup teams, you know, like the Luke Fenhaus team. It's always good to see, you know, new teams and startup teams. That really is good for the series. And but yeah, I mean, Sawalich has been fantastic. Jesse Love's been fantastic, and that'll be cool to watch him do double duty tonight. That's a lot of laps around here in one evening.
William Sawalich, 16 years old, from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. And you have Jesse Love in the 20, 18 years old, from Redwood City, California. Different ends of the country, but right now they're side by side as we're green once again.
Not room that time for Sawalich to get down to the bottom. May lose that spot to Caden Honeycutt.
Yeah, Honeycutt got a much better restart this time, didn't he? He was able to fill in there. The run that Sawalich got through the middle of 3 and 4 is promising. You know, I know his car is fast, but that might be good.
I think we have a second lane, it looks like. We saw Jesse Love, especially down in 3 and 4 before that caution, using the higher side of the racetrack. Now Sawalich was able to hold off Honeycutt from the high side.
Caden Honeycutt making his first ARCA Menard Series start this year, and impressive. This kid has a lot of talent. He just needs an opportunity. He jumps in and out of these cars. He jumps in the trucks when he can. He was the last-minute addition to the Craftsman Truck Series, and you know, he's trying to make hay when he has the opportunity.
And Jack Wood's car might be a little bit more wounded, you know, than we thought. He had that contact with Fenhaus when he blew a tire. He got a hole in the nose. Hood's popped up a little bit. He's struggling. Hopefully he'll be able to get this thing, keep it on the lead lap until the break, and they can patch that thing up. But he's you can tell he's struggling a little bit, and that damage is costing him.
Jake Finch. Oh, caution's out.
Caution is out for the third time.
Oh, it's Sawalich again.
Fenhaus.
The 28
Fenhaus
around.
sorry.
You saw him fix that damage. You heard the update there, but his problems continue here.
Yeah, another right front flat.
Yeah. Undoubtedly
believe-
something was rubbing probably that from the initial damage.
I believe he's out of tires. They only have 2 sets. They're allowed to change
Yeah.
1. Unless you have an issue, you have an extra set to go back on.
I think
So-
he's done now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much going to
it's-
do it. He's already being shown 9 laps down. He restarted 8 laps down, so I think.
Yeah, there must have been something more that was rubbing that right front tire, you know, and they thought they cleared it, and obviously wasn't cleared. But you know, I'm sure when he blew the tire the first time, he had some more damage, and it just didn't.
Yeah, there it goes.
Didn't get it fixed. Oof. That's a pretty hard hit, you know. That's a bad angle, and
Hate
rough
to see
night,
that.
that's for
yeah.
sure.
Hate to see that for Luke Fenhaus. Just 3 career starts. They all came this year. First outing at Iowa, goes to victory lane. Second in his second outing, and then 6th, and then tonight. And tonight is really when it mattered for him if he had any shot at that East Championship.
Yeah, he had such a great year in the East Series. In 7 races, his average finish was 2.9, which was only overshadowed by Sawalich's 2.1. I mean, how do you run all year? We talked about LeVar Scott never finishing out of the top 10. Luke Fenhaus' average finish was better than 3rd, and he came in here 20 points behind.
As Luke Fenhaus climbs from the 28, we'll step aside. Jesse Love, William Sawalich, Caden Honeycutt, your top 3. Big Noon Saturday kicks off on Fox with a good one as Drew Aller and Nicholas Singleton lead 7th-ranked Penn State in a showdown against Illinois. Catch the action beginning Saturday at noon Eastern on Fox. Football back in a big way. Ryan, you a big football fan?
I am. We actually just talked about this under break, and I told you on my team, and I got judged for it, so I think I'm going to keep it off the air.
I'm going to say the Ohio State.
Well, Ryan grew up in Ohio, and I'm from Michigan, so there's.
That's a good rivalry right there.
You know, I feel like when someone says they're a Buckeye fan, always Michigan people judge them. But us Ohio folks, we don't ever judge y'all. You know, we're just like, oh, okay. Looking forward to the game this year. You know.
Jamie, save us. Is there any judging going on with our front runners?
Well, I just checked in with Shannon Rush, the crew chief for Jesse Love, asked him about that damage. And, you know, normally Shannon's pretty calm, cool, and collected, but he said, I am worried about it. He said, our spoiler's too low. We need that to get up. He's not able to get through traffic the way that he normally would, but he's still getting through it because, as he said, he is a killer. So they are going to take that break later on and make some changes to that chart, try and clean it up just a little bit. But Jesse still is, you know, doing Jesse Love things. And you see him talking to Billy Venturini right now. I want to go back to the number 73 also of Andy Jankowiak. He is still on the lead lap of this race, and his plans for next season is to do the complete season. He said in order to do that, we need a couple of things. One, of course, we need sponsors. Number 2, we need a bigger notebook. He's out here doing this short track race at Bristol to do just that. He doesn't have a whole lot of experience on short tracks, didn't grow up with them like a lot of the guys in this field, and he said that's going to be what's going to elevate our program. It's just taking notes and then using them going forward. Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie. And Andy Jankowiak, if you've been watching the ARCA Menard series, he's the guy, the wild child with the bandana, has a great time. He's a short track racer from upstate New York, and it would be great to have him full time in this series, no doubt.
Yeah, always competitive when he shows up. He brings a great product to the racetrack.
Great personality too. That's why we like these, Jeff. Jeff Gordon, he had thoughts on Jesse Love. We always talk about Jesse. He's looking for his first championship. It's all but locked up, but let's hear what Jeff had to say.
When you come up racing from a very young age, especially if you've driven a lot of different types of cars, you're learning a certain racecraft that you can't necessarily teach. You just have to experience it, and you either have it or you don't have it. That's what I see in Jesse. I mean, he's humble enough to where he's willing to learn and take in all the information, but he's also confident enough that once you put him in that situation, it's as if there is no pressure.
And that's big props, big respect from Jeff Gordon, who, by the way, grew up racing against Jesse's dad. They were best friends, Duke Love. So Jeff has known this young man since he was born, and he's watching him now realize his dream. As we get ready to go back racing here, William Sawalich in the 18, Jesse Love in the 20. Watch this battle. And a great restart once again. I know Jesse Love says his car's not perfect, but what a restart. We've seen this all season.
Yeah, it sure has. He's always been on the button. Really outperforms on these restarts. You see Honeycutt trying to grab that second spot from Sawalich, but I'm telling you, there's enough grip in that second lane that Sawalich is going to hold on.
Yeah, and you know, like I said earlier, even on restarts, you know, that grip on the bottom, it usually takes a couple laps to kind of get reactivated. You know, it cools off under caution. It pulls all the loose marbles off your tires when you're running on it under caution, and it kind of sets them there. So being in the second lane is actually not a terrible thing for the first couple laps, but then you definitely have to get to the bottom as it gets worked in.
There's also damage on the 15 right behind that battle we're watching there with the 15 of Hingorani. Looks like the hood is coming up. Looks like he may have run into the back of somebody as well. You can see all the damage there. A lot of damage to that 15 car.
Big damage for Hingorani back in the 8th spot.
The good news for Hingorani, like Ryan was talking about, you look out the top of the windshield on the left-hand side. So normally that would bother him, but I think it's as high as you have to look. Way over in that left top corner is where you look when you're in these corners.
How about Christian Rose just behind Sean Hingorani? Nice job driving into the top 10. We've seen him come on strong. Had a great run at Kansas going, and he's one of our full-time drivers.
Sawalich starting to put a little pressure on Love here. I feel like Sawalich is just getting a little better as the laps have gone on. You know, we talked about, and Honeycutt too. I mean, he's sticking right with these guys. I didn't think he had nearly the speed early in the race, but as we've got some laps on the tires, track's changing a little bit. They've gotten better too.
What's funny is Honeycutt is driving the car that Landon Lewis usually drives on the West Coast, that he's racing for the championship out there, only 1 point behind. But here Honeycutt's in that, and Landon Lewis is in a different car. Cody Robar's car.
And Landon Lewis, we saw the issue with right on the initial start of this race, fell back, lost about 6 spots, but now he's fought his way back up into 4th.
I wonder how much that damage is hurting Jesse Love. You know, I mean, spoiler height is huge, and and Jack Woods just trying to hold on. You know, we talked about that damage, him struggling, and he's hanging on.
And the battle right now for 6th, Andres Perez, and the 25 of Connor Jones.
I messed up another name. Okay.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
You're our drop-in special guest, Ryan. You're allowed.
I mean, yeah, just tell her to be quiet.
And Connor Jones, he's known to be pretty aggressive, and you see it there. He just keeps on ticking, but he always finds himself up there in the top 10 in these races.
Saw Jake Finch, that one car, make a good move to get by Connor Jones, and Perez was trying to come through the door that was open, and Connor Jones shut the door, but now Perez has been able to get by him.
Luke Fenhaus talked a lot about him and his troubles tonight. He's standing by with Heather.
And Luke Fenhaus out of the race early tonight. First off, are you okay? And can you kind of describe the frustration for you right now?
Yeah, it sucks. Obviously, we had a really good car, capable of winning, I think, and to kind of get taken out of the race that early. I knew there was trouble on the restart there with the 18 and 20, and then had a right front go down, and then had 2 right fronts go down. So I don't know, it's hard. These guys work so hard behind me, and you know, to only make 40 laps or whatever it was, sucks to come up short, but we'll be back better next year.
Thanks, Luke. Jamie Little.
Thanks, Heather. Certainly not the night that we expected or he himself expected. And wow.
Wild stuff going on at the team. Still wild.
Sideways. 87 goes around. That's Charles Buchanan. Caution is out now.
You know, we talked about lap cars going to play a big factor in this. You know, things happen fast here, and we saw it twice. You know, the first time when Jesse Love got held up by a lap car, not really knowing where he was going to go, and then just now, Sawalich getting held up by a lap car, not really knowing where he's going to go, and luckily he didn't get, you know, damage or anything.
Watch this now. Jesse went to the outside, and LeVar Scott, the 6th, went to the outside as well. That opened up the bottom of the racetrack, so you saw that Sawalich was able to drive by. Watch Jesse Love is going to pick the outside here. He thinks LeVar Scott's going to go to the bottom. And Sawallisch says, thank you very much. I'll just go on by.
It's amazing how quick things happen at Bristol.
It is. It is wild, you know. And Jesse Love, you don't know where that lap car is going to go, right? You kind of can base it off of where they've been running in previous laps, but still you don't know where they're going to go as you get to them. So that's just one of those things that you always have to be looking ahead and always trying to have a plan, you know. And don't look now, Landon Lewis is leading the race. He ran those 3 guys down and was all over them and got the lead there. So his little issues at the beginning of the race, he's rectified them and got back to the lead. He's got a fast car.
Focus right there to be able to not give up, fight his way through. And I don't know, we were talking about Jesse Love. I think this might be one of our sweet move of the race nominees. What do you think?
Yeah, this is Sawallisch going to try to go on the outside, and the 87 is not going to give him much room. That's how the 97 of Landon Lewis got the lead. Looks like Jesse Love may even have got by Sawallisch to grab that second spot. We'll see what the ARCA officials say. They will revert back to the previous loop to determine the running order, but we know that Landon Lewis, the 97, was able to take the lead.
I don't know, Jesse Love making his way through all that mess, and then Sawallisch and his save, which could have been critical right there if he had any more damage from that issue.
Might be an early nominee, you think?
I think so. I think we had 2 already. I have a feeling we're probably going to have about 10 Reese's Sweet Move nominees.
This is the most exciting ARCA race I've seen in a long time. I mean, we're only not even 70 laps in, and we've had, I mean, incredible battles. We've had drama, wrecks, restarts. I mean, the battle the last 5-6 laps was absolutely incredible. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this race goes as the sun goes down. Track's changing. I feel like the track went through a big swing right there where Jesse Love's car started to fall off. Sawallisch got good. Honeycutt got really good. And Lewis got really good and kind of closed up to those guys. When I thought Sawallisch and Jesse Love were the 2 best cars, I feel like the track changed a little bit and it brought a couple other people into the mix.
Let's get an update on William Sawallisch. Heather.
Well, Blaney was just talking about the excitement we've been watching as viewers, but it's getting exciting behind the wheel of that 18. He came over the radio after contact with the 87 and said, hey, that was not me. And then he continued to share his frustration with the lap cars because they are so much slower. But his team reminding him, take a deep breath, relax, and just do your job.
Well, Heather, they should just tell him, relax, buddy. Congratulations. You are the ARCA Menards East champion. It is official. Congratulations, this young man. So much promise, just incredible talent jumping into this series, running full-time in the East, and now he's a champion.
And he's going to appreciate that for about 1 lap. When we go back to racing, he's going to forget all about that and try to concentrate on that lead.
Yeah, I bet that conversation was, oh, that's great. And now he's going to move on and try to win this race.
And afterwards, everybody's going to make a big deal out of it, the media, and he's like, okay, this is great, guys. Let me go get in the truck. I have another race to try to win.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll celebrate by walking back to pit road to get in my truck.
What a big moment for that race team. Joe Gibbs Racing. It's been incredible. Ty Gibbs, Sammy Smith, won 2 titles. The 18 itself has just dominated here, led 386 of 400 laps the last 2 years. They know what they've got.
Yeah, and the year before that, they finished 2nd.
Oh, yeah, that too. So we'll see what William Sawallisch can do with it here. As we are green once again, William Sawallisch, Landon Lewis.
Sawallisch got a pretty good restart there. I think the best restart we've seen from that outside row.
Going to hang in here. Going to try to tuck in maybe behind the 97 of Landon Lewis. He's going to leave Jesse Love a little bit of room, though, on the bottom.
Jesse Love at 3rd, Honeycutt back to 4th. Andres Perez up to 5th.
Good restart for Andres Perez. He was able to get by the 1 of Jake Finch. There's Jake right there, that black Phoenix Construction Toyota.
You know, Perez has talked about time and time again how they just haven't had the best short track cars, but when you look at his results on short tracks, they've been pretty good. I mean, I just think that just shows, you know, his ability and his talent. He's pretty much good and figures out any place that they go. And caution out for the 5th time, and that is the 01 at Tim Monroe. Significant damage to the front end of that car, turn 1.
Yeah, Tim was in the top 5 in East Series points coming into the race. Again, this is the finale for the East Series. There's Tim Goulet. He obviously had some damage. He more than likely was involved. Had issues at the very start, wasn't able to start, but they got that car repaired. Took him about 30 laps to do it, but some damage now.
Well, they got to race hard for a few laps. Let's look back here at exactly what happened.
Ooh.
The 31, Tim Goulet, that just had a few issues tonight. This is the Choose camera. We're not using the Choose here.
It's kind of odd.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. How you spin back that way across the racetrack.
Maybe he was trying to catch it off of 4 and just kind of late
got
slide.
behind a little bit.
Yeah, and just a really unfortunate spot for Tim Monroe to be in.
Yeah, nothing he could do about it.
Well, Goulet was in the garage earlier, had to go behind the wall, so they had issues. Maybe something was broken that we aren't sure of. You see Tim Monroe getting ready to climb out. That AMR safety team always on the call quickly and make sure everybody is okay. We've talked about Hayden Honeycutt making his first start of the year in the 17, doing a great job. His crew chief is Amber Slagle. So nice work by this team. It can't be easy just to jump in and out. There she is. You know, jumps in and out from different series and to run at this level. Big smile on her face. I'd be smiling too. In the hunt, perhaps they can have the upset and get the win, right, Heather?
They got a fast car.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hayden has not raced in the ARCA series for 5 years, since he was 15 years old. But you talked about this early, Jamie. He is trying to impress people. He wants to run as well as he can, get someone to notice him, and then get in a full season ride next season, whether it's ARCA trucks or anything. He said he'll take it.
That's great. You know, I always get asked about, you know, women and different roles, different jobs in this sport. You see women everywhere in racing now. It's great to see. It's been a long time coming. It wasn't that long ago. Women weren't even allowed on pit road, and now you see them in engineering roles. Penske has some women doing tremendous work, championship winning crew chiefs. We've got a crew chief here on the wall, and it's great to see women living their passion. You know, they grow up racing and loving racing like all the boys.
That's the way it should be, right? I mean, nobody should ever be told they can't do something, right? So it's personally great to see, you know, drivers coming up, you know, mechanics, crew chiefs, and engineers. It's fantastic.
So Amber Slagle hanging on to hope, keep making those good calls. We will have that stop, that break at or around lap 100. See if Hayden Honeycutt needs any adjustments, but right now he sits in the 4th spot. All right, so Landon Lewis, your leader right now, William Sawalich, Jesse Love. Plenty more action coming at you from Bristol. Welcome back to ARCA Menard Series Racing from Bristol. Jamie Little, Phil Parsons, Ryan Blaney with you, Heather DeBow, Jamie Howe in the pits. And this is just kicking off a great night of action. Remember the Truck Series coming up at 9 Eastern. Before that'll be Trucks Race Day with Caitlin Vinci, David Reagan, and Mr. Bodine. We'll all have all the storylines. And here's the front row. How about that, Christian Eckes? But we need to scratch that out. We need the telestrator. We need to add in that ugly stash.
That playoff mustache he's going with.
And it's not going anywhere. He wins the race last week, Brian, and now he comes back and gets the pole. I don't think it's going anywhere.
No, it's good luck. You know, drivers are superstitious, you know, in their own ways. And hey, that's not a bad superstition. You got an awesome stash.
Whatever works for you, right?
Yeah, that's
Dirty
right.
socks, the underwear. I mean, there's all kinds of weird things you guys do.
I grow my playoff beard out every year, and yeah, so it's just tradition.
How about Carson Hocevar, what he continues to do?
Yeah, he's been good in the Cup Series. You know, he's been running.
Yeah, you've been racing around him a little bit.
Yeah, he put me in the fence in Darlington, which was good.
Where was that?
I'm really sorry.
Sorry that I brought that.
He drove into one a little too deep and put me in the fence. But you know, other than that, I feel like he's been doing a good job. He had great speed at Darlington, honestly, and he put together a good run at Kansas. And I don't know if he's running the rest of the year in that thing or not.
Here for sure, he's running here.
Bristol.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's done a good job, and I'm curious, you know, to see kind of where he's ends up, because I think he has a lot of talent and showed a lot in trucks. Obviously, the Cup Series is a few starts, so.
You see the Cup playoff leaderboard as it stands right now. Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick locked himself in last week with that big win at Kansas, but you see that cut line that Michael Waltrip loves to talk about right there in the red. Martin Truex Jr., Ryan, isn't that unbelievable?
With one race to go. Just
race.
This race at Bristol to go.
Yeah, it's wild. You know, regular season champion, you know, won a few races and just had 2 bad races, and had a problem early at Kansas last week, and it just shows you how quick that stuff can go away. So it's easy to give away a ton of points if things are going bad for you, and it's gonna be a stressful night for those guys, that's for sure. And I think for a lot of guys, I mean, if you're not locked in, we're even 25 points to the good, and it's going to be, you're going to have to run all the laps. You're not going to make any mistakes, because it shows just how quickly you can lose points and be on the outside.
And there's 60 points available. I mean, you got 2 stages of 10 points each, and then the race of 40 points.
On board with Frankie Muniz, who's had his work cut out for him today. It's been tough, but he's making his way forward in the 14th spot. And right there, the 55 at Toni Breidinger. Talked about her having to start in the back. She had a throttle pedal issue they had to repair, so she was off the pace. Let's get an update on her, Jamie.
And as you see, she's been able to move herself up into the thick of this field. And her crew chief for tonight, Billy Venturini, he said when we were in practice, she was just doing a phenomenal job. It's the first time that the two have worked together, but their communication was right where he wanted it to be. They were able to make some adjustments. He's looking forward to doing the same thing when they're able to come in and make their pit stop. And for Toni, she's out talking to her spotter, Eric Holmes, over the radio, and he's telling her, you've got to be more aggressive. Just put your head down, let that aggression come out, get yourself through the field. And so far, she's been able to listen, and it's working. Jamie?
Right, Jamie, you see it right there. She's the biggest mover of the race so far, up 18 spots. And, she's carrying a lot of momentum. Finished her career best 3rd last week at Kansas. So wait and see what Toni Breidinger can do. We'll be back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. 113 laps to go here. Coming up on that stage break at or around lap 100. Modified live stop. They'll be able to bring it in, make those adjustments, change tires. Had a lot of action so far. 5 cautions. 43 laps, is that right?
Yeah, we can work on those body panels like Jesse Love needs to, that left rear quarter panel. So Wallace now has some damage from that contact with that lap car.
Got Landon Lewis here, the 97.
Missed the shift again.
William Sawalich went into first gear on that first start. Now we have the caution out again. Toni Breidinger goes around.
You wonder if this is just really a chain reaction from the initial Sawalich missing a gear.
I definitely think it is. You saw the top lane stack hard from the 18 missing a gear, and Toni was just an unfortunate bystander in that one. And Frankie Muniz. Goodness.
And the farther back it goes after Sawalich, the harder it is to see. I mean, the guy right behind Sawalich sees it, but then back behind them, you don't see through those cars very well.
Yeah, you get to row 5 on back, and the stack is worse, and you're going faster by the time it stacks, right, because you're accelerating.
And then that's your view.
Yeah.
On board with Frankie Muniz. Just documented. He finally got his first top 5 at Michigan, and it's just been downhill since. Here's the restart.
Yeah, you see Frankie into the back of Toni Breidinger. Nothing any of those drivers could do.
And I'm curious. They talked before the race. Frankie had radio problems, and I wonder if he didn't know they were checking up. If his spotter couldn't tell him, I'd be curious about that. If he heard anything.
Let's go on board with Frankie Muniz right here and see it from his perspective. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure he ever backed off before he ran in the back, but he didn't have a lot of time no matter what.
Yeah.
Now let's listen again on board with William Sawalich on that restart.
I don't think he went to first that time, but he definitely had trouble getting across the gate between 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
Do you think it's damage from the initial start? You said he might have some internal problems.
I don't know. It might just be a sticky gear. Sometimes you get gearboxes that are a little bit rougher. It takes more pressure to get them in. The gate in them isn't as smooth, so it's hard to tell exactly. But a couple problems that he's had tonight getting the thing. I'm guessing it would be 3rd as early as he's shifting. That has caused some problems.
We just saw Frankie Muniz just frustrated, disgusted, just climbed from his car, walking through the garage. Let's get an update, Heather.
Well, you guys just nailed it perfectly. The shifter is getting stuck between 2nd and 3rd gear for William Sawalich.
Look at you, Ryan. Nailed it.
I've missed a few shifts in my day.
Yeah. And sometimes the transmission can get stuck in 2 gears, and that's going to bring a trip down pit road if that happens.
Yeah.
Well, the way this race is going so far, I think we're going to see some more restarts. And certainly we'll keep an eye on the 18 and those issues getting through the gearbox. Jamie.
Well, Toni Breidinger was just in. It was a right front tire only for Toni because they're going to come back in. They're going to change all four, so they put a scuff on it. It was completely down, but they were concerned about going down too many laps. I think she's only going to lose one, Jamie.
Well, we had just talked about her, sang her praises about this season and about tonight. She was up 18 spots, and then just that accordion reaction.
Yeah, she's going to be fine, though. She's the only car 1 lap down. We know we're going to get the race break less than 10 laps, so she'll be back on the lead lap. And it doesn't appear to be that much damage. Most of the damage she got is from the back, which is really just along for the ride, pretty much.
Yeah, right front, splitters pushed up a little bit, but I don't think that would be too bad. I think she got away with minimal damage.
And they might be able to repair that somewhat too on that race break. They'll have 5 minutes to do whatever they can do.
Well, I'm glad that you're joining us here on this Thursday night. It's been a start and go situation here, but great action. There's certainly plenty to talk about, but there's been 22 laps of green since lap 36. So definitely stop and go.
And we talked about the issues that Jack Wood had early on in the race. He now is back on the lead lap as well. He had a very fast car in practice and qualifying, so we'll see what Jack is able to do.
Prepping the bare bond.
Yeah.
Heating it up, getting ready to fix some stuff here.
Make her stick really good.
Yeah.
We talked about Jack Wood, and he's in the 51. We don't usually see him in the 51. That is a third Rev Racing car here this evening, and then he'll be in the 51 truck as well tonight for Kyle Busch Motorsports.
So damage on the 15 hood. Negreanu will be able to repair that when he comes to pit road.
I bet he's excited there hasn't been much green flag racing. So he doesn't lose so many spots for that damage. They can fix that thing.
Landon Lewis may be the only one in the top 6, 7 that doesn't have any damage.
So you're double duty drivers all tonight. 200 laps in the ARCA Series, 200 laps in the Truck Series.
Still 100 short than what we're going to do on Saturday night.
No doubt.
These drivers are really going to be tired after 400 laps.
It's a lot mentally, though, at this place. It's so loud. Everything happens so fast. I know you talk to drivers when they come in for the first time or pit reporters for the first time. You're just mentally drained after a race here. And to think that a lot of them are doing 2 races in one day.
You know, something interesting I've been noticing Landon Lewis is doing. We do it a lot. If you're the leader on the inside, you kind of push the lane up, right? And then when he launches, he will angle down the track and try to get a better launch. Where
Landon Lewis.
Jesse Love got him.
Jesse Love on the outside. Yes.
Really good launch.
Great job by Jesse Love. He tries to dip down in front. Can he make it stick? And he does.
Well, you wonder if maybe the ARCA officials will look at that. Again, you have to launch first, and they don't have a restart zone like we do in NASCAR. They just have a restart line, and essentially it's at the start of your restart zone. So I'm sure the ARCA officials will take a look at that, and if there's any action that needs to be taken, they'll handle it.
And that's William Sawalich on the inside. Great battle right there for third with Andres Perez. Perez on the outside. William Sawalich. There he goes. Takes over the third spot.
Caden Honeycutt, the 17, going to follow him through on the inside.
I was surprised the leader's been taking the bottom every time. You know, usually, even in the truck race, when early in the weekend, the leader will usually take the top. Because
it's harder to launch from the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, you're kind of coming out of a hole a little bit more onto the straightaway. And I was wondering, as the tires got older, right, it gets harder and harder to launch. And I think we saw there to where I think drivers are going to notice that and maybe pick the top. When we go back racing here after this break is.
Nice battle for 6th. Jake Finch in the 1.
It's good to see Jake Finch racing. His dad was a big part of the sport for a long time, and good to see Jake racing.
James Finch, we talk about him every time his son is racing, and just the memories as the caution comes out. 7th of the night, but this will be our halfway break. Whew, a lot of these guys taking big breaths, sighs of relief that they can finally come in, get some new tires, and fix up their race cars.
I'd like to have the franchise for Barabond during this race break.
Buy stock. Yeah.
And you see the wrenches there. Going to be some big adjustments coming your way. Stay with us. Pit stops coming up next. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway, and this is our halfway point break. As you just see, they got the go-ahead to get to work, make those adjustments. Heather DeBow.
And we will start off with the 97 of Landon Lewis running in that second position. And he said the car fired off a lot better and it feels pretty good, but he just wants that nose damaged fixed. But when I talked to him about his driving style earlier today, he said, I'm going to use my aggressiveness smartly in this race. So we'll see if he ramps it up in the second half. And then moving on to the 17 of Caden Honeycutt. 400 laps for him tonight, double duty in trucks and ARCA. But when he spoke to me earlier, he said there are about 10 cars that are competitive in this ARCA race, and I'm going to be one of them, as we see him running currently in the 4th position. And then moving over to our ARCA East champion in the 18, William Sawalich. He said he's pretty good. A little free on landing, needs a little security for the rear, but they are going to check on that shifting. As I mentioned, he's having issues going from 2nd to 3rd. They told him maybe on the next restart as well if he needs to start in 3rd to have a better fire off. Jamie Howe?
For Jesse Love, we covered that damage that he's had the entire race and how it's slowly started to affect his lap times, and they're taking this 5 minutes to really dive in and address that. They did go ahead and fuel the car. They did go ahead and swap out all 4 of those tires. So the stuff that had to get done to get him back out there, that's already been completed. Shannon Rush is on the radio telling the team how much time they have left. They're at about 3.5 minutes right now, reminding them there's no reason to hurry here. You guys can fix this. That's what they're going to do. They've got Bear Bond at the ready. They've got hammers at the ready. They're trying to get the car back square as best they can. Jamie?
Ryan, I bet there's moments that you wish you had 5 minutes to work on your car and make it better.
Sometimes, you know, the Bristol dirt race, you know, we do that. That's kind of nice, actually. You get to think about it. There's not as much pressure. Well, these guys are working super hard right now. I was trying to fix race cars. But, yeah, every now and then I wish it was.
Otherwise, you get 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I hope you hit it right.
All right, they'll complete their adjustments. 2.5 minutes remaining. We'll drop the green flag. Stay with us here from Bristol. It's short track racing at Bristol.
Trouble right there.
This is Bristol, baby. Rubbin is racing. Well, gentlemen, I think we've seen a little bit of all of that already, and we're only halfway.
Believe it or not, that video was not from tonight. That was previous years.
Oh, there's always a lot to talk about. Big time emotions, a lot of damage, a lot of carnage.
Yeah, a lot more racing left too in this one.
But one thing remains: Jesse Love is leading.
Yeah.
Jesse has led 72 laps so far. Landon Lewis 31. William Sawalich just 1 tonight.
See 7 caution flags already in 100 laps.
7 cautions.
But he's certainly not the clear-cut favorite. I mean, I think we have, from what I've seen, at least 4 cars that seem to be fairly equal.
Yeah, I think there's 4 cars. You know, the Jesse Love, Landon Lewis, Sawalich, and Honeycutt, I feel like are the 4 best ones. And, you know, we haven't run that many laps straight.
Less than 20, I think, is the longest run we've had.
Yeah, so if things kind of get going here a little bit more, you're going to find out more about your car. But the tough thing is, didn't run that many laps before the break, so you probably didn't have a great direction to tell what to change. Hey, what do you need? I don't know. We didn't run more than 10 or 15 laps at a time there, so we'll see who hits it right. And if they fix the damage on the 20 car, I'd be curious about that, of how much that was hurting him. He might be lights out here. Looks like they got the left side of that splitter back up in the air, which is good for them.
And he's taking the inside. Jesse Love's taking the inside on this restart, so we'll see what Landon Lewis might be able to do with him.
Well, those teams were hard at work, and reminder, those aren't normal pit crews. Those are their mechanics, the crew chiefs in some instances going over the wall, and you see a lot of damage that was fixed up there. We'll see if it helps Jesse Love. Toni Breidinger was the free pass, so she's back on the lead lap, back in 17th as pace car takes that left. Landon Lewis, Jesse Love, green flag is in the air.
Landon got a good launch there on the top, was able to stay even with the 20. Probably going to settle down here in the second.
Get down in front of Sawalich to grab the second spot. Sawalich now 3rd. Here comes Perez trying to make the move by Honeycutt.
Seemed like a smooth restart for the 18, who was struggling to get through the gearbox.
Jake Finch with a nice move to get by Honeycutt as well.
love that onboard camera. Feel the intensity from what he's seeing and his perspective. Now, but we caught a glimpse of Christian Rose in the 32. So racy tonight. Really impressive what he's been able to do running 7.
Yeah, coming off his best career finish at Kansas last week of 6th.
He said, I just want that 5th place. I just got to finish in the top 5. And, you know, we heard that from Frankie Muniz. He finally got a top 5, and it just hasn't been good since then.
Oh, Lewis got super loose getting in. And you know, new tires, low pressures, they're kind of squirmy, you know, in here where there's so much load. So that's a big moment. Hopefully, as he gets running, he looked like he got better with laps on tires as Sawalich is heating up Jesse Love right now.
Yeah, Sawalich is there.
That could have been a reason.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Caden Honeycutt in the wall. Caution is out for the 8th time.
Flat left front.
And you have to wonder, because obviously just put fresh tires on that car. Undoubtedly had to run over something. I don't see much body damage on the left side. We'll have to take a look and see maybe if he made contact with another car. We're hearing now that maybe he was involved with the 35.
No, and he was struggling. He was falling back for a while, so he might have had it.
Oh, there it is right there. Got shoved into the outside wall by the 3 of Landon Pimbleton.
Definitely contact there with the 17 running 8th at the time. You see Greg Van Alsten, 35.
Oh, that's what cut the left front.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a tough break for Caden Honeycutt. Such a good run going. One of the 4 cars we were talking about. One of the 4 best cars.
And he just knew he was going to be a factor tonight. And what a run they had. It's been fun talking about him. And his first ARCA Menard Series start in many years. And well, he'll have to go back, regroup, and get ready to race tonight.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Yeah, he's not happy with the 3 car for sure.
Well, he's giving a nicer finger. We've seen worse.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They didn't have to blur that one, which is good.
Yeah. Remember, Truck Series qualifying, he had a great run, and on the second lap, trying to get a little bit more, got into the outside wall. They're going to be able to repair that truck, but he will lose his starting position for that truck race. But haven't seen much of Landon Pimbleton tonight. He's driving for Willie Mullins, this 3 car here, running up in the top 10 right now.
Late model racer, 3 ARCA Menard Series starts. Last year ran for Venturini Motorsports. Finished in the top 10 in all 3 starts last year. So, you know, he's still young and obviously one of those guys that doesn't race at this level every week. Races something different, and had an issue there, and Caden Honeycutt is out of the race.
He had a 3rd place finish at Elko, was his best for the Venturinis last year. But and it certainly wasn't anything intentional. He got in the corner a little bit too hard, got loose, and unfortunately had to move up the racetrack. Needed more racetrack, and Honeycutt was there.
All right, we're under caution for the 8th time here at Bristol. 87 laps to go. Stay with us. ARCA Racing on FS1 is brought to you by General Tire. General Tire delivers the freedom to explore. And Reese's. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's, not sorry. We've certainly had some Reese's Sweet Move of the race nominees. It's not official yet, but certainly have a lot to choose from.
We have a few not so sweet moves.
Yes.
Too.
A little bitter.
Well, the good thing is you can get all of it at Menards. It's fine.
Yes.
You can find whatever you want.
That's right.
Save big money at Menards.
I broke the bank last week at Menards when we were in Kansas because it's right across from the racetrack.
Oh, it's so beautiful,
I try to take
too.
advantage of it.
They have everything there.
Everything.
Here we go. Green flag in the air. Another great restart for Jesse Love. William Sawalich, this is the battle we've been waiting for tonight. The 18 got it fixed up, and they're 1-2.
Yeah, I think if we get a long run, I think Sawalich's car is better on the long run. We haven't had any of those yet, but one can hope.
Side by side, Greg Van Alst. Beautiful car. He goes up the racetrack.
Pimbleton gets by. There's Sawalich heating up Jesse Love already.
Jesse Love has led 87 laps. But William Sawalich, you mentioned it, they got that car fixed up. He's only led 1 lap tonight.
Remember, though, there's a bit of a history between these 2 cars, the 20 and the 18, yes.
It doesn't matter who's driving them either. It goes back years.
It's the car numbers. I don't think it has anything to do with the drivers.
They're attracted to each other.
That's right.
It's like there's a magnet.
I think lap traffic, if this goes green, right, the lap traffic is going to be massive in this race, right? How do you pick and choose your spots? We saw the lap traffic really affect the lead twice in the first half of the race, so I feel like this will be the same. So you'll see if these guys, okay, did they learn anything from that? I think Landon Lewis has a good long run car too. I mean, he didn't go very good on the initial start after the break, but he's getting better and better.
Landon Lewis had a shot at winning the race in Phoenix early on in the season. It's the only other time we've seen him at the national level. His protege of Ron Hornaday. So Ron back at the track everywhere that Landon is running. Great to see him. Hall of Famer. Rocking the blonde, the gray hair. He's always got his eye on that number 97 of Landon Lewis. See if maybe he'll have a shot here tonight. You mentioned it, Ryan. The lap traffic will be an issue. You got to pick and choose. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, how close they are.
Yeah, it's going to be massive, and how you get to them, and that's ideal, right? If they're all staying on the bottom, okay, I know where you're going. I'm going to plug the middle here and understand that. It's when you kind of get guessing. When you get to faster cars, then it's tougher, right? If you get to cars that aren't way off the pace, that's what makes it way tougher as a leader to kind of make your decision and pick through them cleanly.
See that traction compound that they applied this morning? Bob Pockris from Fox Sports reported that this morning. He's always on it. He's always the first one at the racetrack. So I think he even had video of them spraying it. They don't plan on spraying it anymore for the next couple of days for all the racing. But these guys have it here in the 18 right on his bumper.
And they're not able to shake Landon Lewis, as Ryan was talking about. Running some fast lap times too. 1580 that last lap for Jesse Love. So Wallace was just a tick better, and Landon Lewis even faster than that.
Jesse Love, we talk about his 9 wins on the season.
I like what Sawalich did there. He kind of faded to the top there and angled down. He missed it that time, but he did it 3 and 4, and I think it's better because the exits get really tight as rubber gets laid down. So he's trying to find a way, because how you get past that guy, right? You can't run through the back of the 20 in the middle of the corner, so you're having to get runs on exit, and I think he's trying to play with that a little bit.
And I remember Joey Logano maybe was the first one I remember really doing that, where he would just turn hard left in the center of the corner.
He would do it, yeah, away from the top. Yeah.
Caden Honeycutt was one of those drivers we thought may have a chance at this one. Unfortunately, his night is done early, Heather.
Absolutely, Jamie had a good run going, but Caden Honeycutt out early. We saw you show your displeasure there. Take us through what happened from your perspective.
Just get lost. It wrecked me. So I was stuck just running the top just because that's where you're at. The resin was much faster than it was earlier in the race, and I was just stuck just trying to get back down. 32 ran into me, so it allowed him to get back the 3 to get underneath me, and he just got underneath me and lost it. So just ridiculous. This sucks, and I can't believe the luck I've had the last couple months. It's been unbelievable. So I hate it for Bruce Cook, everybody at the MMI worked extremely hard, had a great race car. I really felt like we were going to be able to contend with the 20 and the 18 there. I just needed to go green and be able to navigate through traffic and all that, but it's a shame. Just I don't know what to do. It's so disappointing, and wrecked in qualifying in the truck, had an amazing lap going there, and hit the racetrack, wrecked, and now this. So it's don't end, but got to quit. The sport will rip you and tear you apart pretty fast, and it's not going to tear me apart. I'm going to keep going and figure out how to get it off my back and keep racing.
Tough night for Caden Honeycutt, Jamie.
Thanks, Heather. I like his attitude there. You know, you can have tough nights, but it's not going to destroy me. And remember, he has the truck race coming up, racing for Young's Motorsports. So good luck to him, and hopefully a better outcome.
Well, we have a heck of a race going on for the lead. I mean, these 3 guys have not been able to get away from each other. Lewis just got by.
Got loose again.
Yeah, got loose. It's kind of weird. Like, Sawalich will slip. Landon Lewis pounced on him. The 20 kind of had some rough laps, let them close in. Now he's being able to gap him a little bit. So these guys just can't figure it out how to get away from each other. But they put on a heck of a show here the last few laps.
Longest green flag run we've had in this race. So
cars are changing, right? Your car is changing constantly. You see the middle of the racetrack's getting a little darker, getting a little rubber put on it because these guys are having to go around lap cars. So that changes the way your car's driving a little bit. And And yeah, you're going through a big change. I mean, this is by far the longest we've run tonight, and everyone's car is changing. It looks like Jesse Loves has kind of gotten better than these guys.
And you heard Caden talking about the traction compound is heated up too, so things changing there for traction. And obviously it's playing into the 20s hands. Shannon Rush, he knew what to expect and what to look for. He's got about 0.8 of a second lead over Landon Lewis right now.
That's one thing that has really impressed me about that team this year is the adjustments that Shannon Rush has been able to make. He's taken cars that Jesse really wasn't very good and made them so much better and got a better finishing position, sometimes even winning. Not always winning, but definitely getting better as the race wears on.
They're always there at the end. If they don't dominate the whole race, they find a way to be there at the end, unless it's like Kansas where he had an issue and the bump right there. Swalch, they're trying to get around Tony Breidinger.
Landon Lewis, he's loose. I mean, and his saving grace is the resin, right? If he misses the resin and has to go around a lap car in the middle where there's not as much grip, he is fighting for his life not to get too loose. So, and it pays off for him, I think, in the resin if he hits it right. But if his car turns good, yeah, and the resin kind of holds you. But if he misses it a little bit, he really has his hands full. So that tells me he's not as good in traffic, right? He's going to have more trouble in traffic trying to navigate around him in the middle if he has to go there.
So he talked about the 16-year-old William Sawalich that we're riding on board with right now in the 18. He's already locked up. He is officially the ARCA Menards East champion. This is their final race. They had 8 races. So congratulations to him and that 18 team, but he's going to hop out of this race car and he hopes to get the win, and then he's going to jump in the truck and hope to do that. And if you guys remember back a few years ago, who did that very thing?
Sam Mayer swept the night.
Got the ARCA win. I believe, didn't he get the truck win first? Got out, then the ARCA race was after the truck race that night, I believe.
Because he had a broom in Victory Lane for the ARCA race.
We all thought, who in the world is this Sam Mayer kid? And made it look so easy that night.
Jesse Loves in a little bit of traffic again. Had to check up, let these guys get a little closer.
Now Sawalich is in heavy traffic. Lose touch with Landon Lewis.
Now he's going to be boxed in. Yeah, now he has to bail to the middle.
51 laps to go. As you mentioned, this is the longest green flag run we have had tonight.
There's Tanner Arms in the 95 car.
There's the difference right there between first and second. Let's get more on Jesse Love. Jamie.
One of the things that Jesse was really looking forward to about tonight was the traffic. He said that he feels like that's his biggest advantage over the guys that are behind him right now. But when you look at the timing sheet, there are 11 cars that are out of this race, and we're under caution one more time, so that traffic's going to freeze right now. But there are 11 cars that are out and only 11 cars that are on the lead lap. So the traffic hasn't been as thick as what Jesse needed, but he and Shannon, as you guys talked about, the changes that they make, they've been able to get that car better. They've been able to fix the damage that they had and still come out and lead this race. Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie, for the update. The caution is out for the 9th time for debris that you're looking at right there in turn 2.
I was looking forward, just hoping it went green to the end to see how the track changed, right? You're really going to see whose car was good. If we went, you know, if we had a 80 lap run to the end of the race, that would have been really neat, but we'll re-rack them, do it again.
You see all the marbles right there. That was a good showing of what it's like and what this racetrack does to tires. And you see that General Tire rubber, and then under caution, picks it all back up.
It is crazy. You see all the grooves in the racetrack. That's up the racetrack a good bit, where they ground the track a while ago. And that has so much grip. I mean, Xfinity cars be there. We'll be up there on Saturday night. It is crazy how much grip that has for a while. And that's the exit of 4, I think. But there's just so much grip in those little tiny tracks. But as we get running on them, you'll lay rubber in those little grooves and it gets super slick. So it's kind of weird how that goes through a transition. It's just really one of the neat things about Bristol that it's pretty shocking. That was a great camera angle to kind of show the different surfaces, you know, from each lane.
Well, it gets slippery enough when those grooves are filled in with rubber that you will move back down to the bottom. It will. Yeah.
So we'll run the bottom because the top isn't in. There's too many marbles. the bottom will get less grip, so we'll start moving up the track. Okay, top's coming in, top has a bunch of grip, and then, okay, it over rubbers, we call it, gets slick, and then we'll kind of move back down the racetrack. So and it's like, all right, who's going to make the move first, right? Whose car does the best when you have to move up, to move down, and you're constantly changing all night. That's what makes this place super difficult to run, you know, a full race, especially 500 laps.
And some of you guys will try to work the top groove in practice, and it'll be half a second slower probably initially when you try to work that top in a little bit.
Yeah, and if you look at this shot right here, where all the, where the, a lane up or half a car width up, all the rubber that's just caked into that resin, you feel that, right? You feel it. They'll kind of pick it up a little bit under caution, but that gets super clumpy and rough. And when that kind of over clumps like that, it takes grip away, you start bouncing. That's when we kind of start moving up the racetrack. So guys might have started moving up the track if we stayed green and that continued to clump. But it seems we're going to pick it back up again and go again. But
well, 45 laps to go. Hopefully we'll get to see that as the ARCA Menards Series just setting the stage. Still plenty more racing action to come. Remember, Trucks Race Day will follow us right here on FS1. And then the Crossman Truck Series race, 9 Eastern. 200 laps for the truckers.
And start the round of 8 here at Bristol. Had a great round of 10. This is how they line up. Our 8 playoff drivers remaining. 24 points separate first to 8th with 3 races to go in this round.
All season long, Corey Heim, regular season champion, won a few races, and he only has 8 points to the good. So that's the great thing about playoff racing. I don't know if anybody out there could say that they don't like playoff racing. It's so exciting. I know it's so stressful for you, Ryan, being in this situation. It's an elimination race for you guys on Saturday night, but sure is good entertainment.
It definitely is. I mean, I look at these 8 guys. I mean, they've all been fantastic this year, right? And that's why they're all close on points, right? They've all run great this year, and they all deserve to run for a championship. So I can't wait to watch this round 8 for the trucks, because it's going to be a wild one. And like, we just saw, the points are so tight that you're not going to be able to have a mistake.
Good that was look at Grant Enfinger. Yeah, one of our playoff contenders and a winner at Milwaukee. A couple of races to go.
Here we go once again. Jesse Love in the 20.
Good
Landon
restart.
Lewis in the 97. He's so good on those restarts. But look, Landon Lewis keeping him in his sights.
Can't lose second here.
Yeah. So Wallace wanted to take advantage of it. Landon Lewis was just enough clear to get down.
Look at Andres Perez in the 2, keeping them within his sights.
Jake Finch holding down the top 5 as well on that 1 car. Good run for Jake, coming off a pretty good run last week, a top 5 at Kansas in the ARCA Series.
Connor Jones is another one of the 25 for Venturini Motorsports. If he can get up there, he could be a threat to mix it up with these guys.
There's Jake right there. Good look at that Phoenix Construction Toyota. Johnny Allen, longtime crew chief for James Finch, crew chief for Jake.
18-year-old from Lynn Haven, Florida.
Heck of a baseball player, too.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Heather.
And Andres Perez running in that 4th position. He also runs in the NASCAR Mexico Series, currently 4th in points. And his family is here tonight. He absolutely loves this racetrack. So he told them, if you're going to come to one race, it's going to be this one. So his parents, his brother, and even his former crew chief in the NASCAR Series. Jamie Howe?
Another thing that the 2 cars going for right now is the Rookie of the Year battle, but that's exactly what Christian Rose in the number 32 is going after. He thought that it was completely out of the question, but then with his finish last week, he was able to pass Frankie Muniz. He was also able to gain 11 points on Andre Perez. So his now goal is to win that Rookie of the Year title, and he's going to put his head down and do his best. Jamie.
And Christian Rose 7th right now, and side by side, great action. Landon Lewis with the pressure from behind, but he's also trying to work his way around lap traffic.
That was such a bad break for Sawalich, because the 97 got loose, got off the bottom. He had a great run on him, got to the inside of him, and then they ran into lap cars. He got boxed in and had to let him go. Now he has to restart the process all over again, trying to get inside of him. And as this is going on, the 20 is driving away.
And Sawalich realizes that. So at one point, if he's able to stay right with the 97, Willie said, okay, I'm going to have to go now.
It's going to have to be soon. I mean, if you see the 20 driving away, if you get close enough, 97 starting to check up in the middle of the corner a little bit. Looks like he's got a pretty good run here. He might, yeah, here he goes.
He's got him right now.
And he has enough room, I think, to clear him before a lap car comes into play.
And he gets him. The 18 Williams Sawalich into second. Perhaps another Reese's Sweet move. Nominee.
Good nominee, too. It's really challenging to pass similar cars, equal cars, and he was able to do that.
Now we'll really see what the speed the 18 has in it. You know, I think the 97 was holding him up there a little bit. So we'll see if the 18 can run the 20 down a little bit. I think it's going to be hard to do, though.
Yeah, we'll watch the scoring monitor this next lap when he gets clean racetrack and see who comes out on top. Good battle here continues for the fourth spot between Perez and Jake Finch.
You know, William Sawalich, he's gone toe-to-toe with the 20 and Jesse Love, and he's beaten him a couple of times, and I think that's really helped his confidence. He beat him twice.
0.2 of a second faster that last lap, Jamie.
So he's closing.
That's a lot.
That's a lot there. Yeah, a lot of Bristol. Another almost 0.3 he knocked off that last time. So he's coming. 20's got a little traffic. They both kind of got to it at a similar point.
So what we're doing is setting the scene for what could happen if he can just, the 18 can just close that gap a little bit more. The 20 has not won here. The 18 has dominated here. Ty Gibbs, and then it was Sammy Smith.
There's still a decent amount of laps to go, right? We still have 28 laps to go, which isn't very long, but this gap is closing pretty rapidly each and every lap. It's a constant 0.2, you know, 1/10 and a half, 0.2, but catching them is one thing, passing them is another.
Well, we know that Sawalich is not afraid to use the bumper. We've seen him do that. We saw it at Berlin earlier this year when Jesse Love dominated the race and William Sawalich moved him out of the way on the last lap.
He's closing on him, you guys.
He might not have to move him out of the way.
He might not. He's fast enough. He might be able to just drive around him.
They're just hoping that these lapped cars know what's going on. You see Jesse Love get loose.
Yeah, he's free. And you're working hard, too. If you're loose here, I mean, you are working your tail off. I mean, your heart beats up. I mean, you're driving the heck out of that thing, trying to save it. He's so loose.
And no time to rest. I mean, you come off the corner, and in 2 seconds, you're back entering another corner.
Oh, my gosh. So close getting around that lap car.
I'm going to be impressed. If he can hang on to the lead, being as loose as he is and how fast the 18 is, I'm going to be super impressed. But it's just a matter of time. Especially,
look at all the traffic coming up. Yeah. Those are good cars, too, Ryan.
Yeah. And if he has to get to the middle, it's going to be even worse. You're right. You're going to be looser because you don't have the PJ1 helping you.
And you see both of these cars with the damage. You see the left rear on Jesse Love split apart. It's been a night. Nobody is unscathed when you race at Bristol.
No.
So here come the leaders.
Oh, here he goes on the bottom. Jesse Love will use that 11 for a pick.
And it's a fine line too, right? You saw the 20. He's pushing that middle lane, right? And you see the darker part of the racetrack in the middle. If you get through over that, you're gone, right? I mean, it's just marbles. We saw all the marbles in the caution break, and it's super slippery. So if you're passing lap cars, you have to be really careful to not push it too far up the racetrack.
See him close the gap just a little bit. Less than a half a second separates Jesse Love from William Sawalich. 20 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Should clear a little bit of some lap traffic. There's some more traffic about a straightaway up on him.
20's actually found some pace again. You know, he's kind of been able to break even in fairly even lap times here the last few laps.
Caution is out. Oh, Landon Lewis, who we were talking about battling up there, perhaps tonight would be the night, was running third in an issue. That brings out the caution for the 10th time here.
Yeah, an issue with the right front. Obviously, you see the right front tire has gone down on the 97 car. What a tough break. Great effort, though, for Landon Lewis and that team.
Landon led 32 laps tonight, was in the mix. Second ARCA Menard Series national race.
It means we're going to have another restart and another short run.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's probably going to be a bad spot. He blows the tire off the corner here.
Ooh. At least he was on the straight area a little bit farther than it could have been.
That stinks. You know, he had a good run like we talked about, and was beating on the right front tire. You know, this place is so hard on tires, especially right fronts. You know, there's so much load, and it's so fast. I mean, it's crazy we're running around this place in 15.5 seconds, and it's unfortunate ending on the night for that group, but they did a good job. They should be proud of it.
Cleanup continues here at Bristol. Stay with us for the ending. Will it be Jesse Love? Maybe William Sawalich. Great crowd on hand. Stay with us. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. We are working lap 187 of 200 for the ARCA Menard Series. Jesse Love is leading us right now. We're under caution. Shannon, that car is beat. It's battered. We can see that he's free. When we get back to green, what does he have?
He's got a lot of want. You know, he's a guy that just knows how to win, like I've said before, you know. So restarts are where he makes his money. Like I said before, comfortable with the car. Obviously, I wish it wasn't so beat up. I don't know if anybody remembers Bristol My Ride, but I feel like I'm living it right now. So hopefully we can win with a beat up race car here.
You can certainly feel the anxiety. Heather?
We've seen this battle a couple times this season between the 18 and the 20. So, Matt, what does William got to do to get around Jesse here on this restart?
He's a good restart, for one. You know, we've struggled with that throughout the year. I think we made it a little bit better. We practiced it a lot. This is tough. The lap traffic's been our biggest issue. With 10 to go, I don't know how much it's going to come into effect, but probably the biggest thing is the restart.
Good luck. Jamie Little.
Thanks, ladies. I love hearing from the crew chiefs right away. I mean, you just see Shannon Rush, just the stress, but the emotion. He's as emotional as his driver. We'll see what happens here. Shannon Rush said he's got a lot of want. How much want does he have? What does he have for the 18? William Sawalich. He needs to have a good restart here.
Jesse Love's won 9 races this year. It's well documented. He hasn't had the best car every one of those races. He is somebody that gets the most out of his equipment, and he is outstanding on restarts.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You know, we've seen the 18 have a couple bad restarts tonight, trouble getting into third. Can he get him a good restart here and be able to do it? You see the 20 pushing the 18 up the track to try to get a better angle for launch.
Here we go. 10 laps to go from Bristol.
Not the best restart from the 18, but if he can get down into second off of 2.
Look at Andres Perez in the 2. He wants to have something to say about this before it's all over.
Walsh has the spot.
Oh, Connor Jones, contact back there with Jake Finch.
Jake saves it. Greg Van Alst now takes over the 5th spot.
Oh, pressure.
18 all over him.
He's in there.
Side by side, he's loose. William Sawalich. Does he have enough? And he does it. He gets around the 20 of Jesse Love.
I'm not sure Jesse could even get close enough to put the bumper to him if he wanted to.
Yeah, he's so free right now. I mean, he was just hanging on.
You could see the wiggle right there from the 20.
The 18 just set him up really well, and 20 just had a moment, and the 18 was able to pounce on it, and probably is hoping not for no more caution.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a lot of want out of the 18 right there on that restart.
And that's my nominee too, Jamie. Just in my #1 nominee for Mrs. Sweet Move.
Was that restart and then taking over the lead for the 18. This is just the second time tonight, by the way, that he has led. We're so used to seeing the 18 so dominant here, but once again, it's been the Jesse Love show. Led 158 laps. Does he have enough time to close the gap here on the 18 with 5 laps to go?
Yeah, I mean, you never know how lap cars are going to come in. I don't think he has the overall speed to just run the 18 down right now. He's probably hoping the 18 might hit a few lap cars and slow him up, but there's not really many in the distance here that that might help Jesse Love out.
William Sawalich, young 16-year-old, so much poise. He's had issues on the restart from the beginning. He put it into first, and we wondered, did he just kill the transmission? Is he going to have bigger issues? And he was getting stuck, but he was able to hang on. He's such a cool, calm, and collected kid as well.
He did a good job figuring it out, right? He had 2 bad restarts. not getting it into gear, going into wrong gear. And, we've had 3 or 4 restarts since then where he had no problems, right? He cleaned it up and did a great job and gave him a shot to win the race as they come back to the checker.
White flag in the air. The 18, William Sawalich. He already locked up the ARCA Menard Series East Championship. Can he take the win as he comes around? Checker flag in the air. William Sawalich wins it at Bristol. What a finish to this one. He was in the tracks of the 20 all night long. This team didn't give up.
And they got strong when it mattered, right? I don't think he was the best car the first half of the race in the sun, stuff like that, but I feel like as the track got cooler, sun went down, they got a chance to work on it, got more laps on the tires. They definitely, were easily the best car there the last quarter of the race and showed it. They did a great job winning the race.
Great pass for the win, no contact, just a better car.
That's what you want right there. You want the checkered flag saying that you won the race, but he got the big flag, means that he is champion. His family, he grew up in Minnesota. That's where they were living. Started this year, they knew they were going racing in the ARCA Menard Series. His family moved to North Carolina to watch their son fulfill his dreams. And he just delivered with his first championship. Nice burnout. All 3 wins that he's had in the ARCA Menard Series national level this year. Jesse Love has finished second. What a burnout.
What a bright future this young man has.
Gets a sword, too. That's a cool trophy.
By the way,
I never got a sword.
What's up with that?
I think they started
winner here.
The year after I won those 2 races, they started giving swords away.
I think you need to find Jerry Caldwell when you get to Bristol this weekend and tell him you want a sword.
Yeah. I'll take one for 2 of those races,
That is one of the coolest things that we see for winning a race. William Sawalich climbs from the race car, victorious at Bristol Motor Speedway. First time racing here. There it is, picks up that flag.
Can't leave the Menards flag on the ground. That was a good move by you. You got to get that thing off the ground.
That's right. William Sawalich led 10 laps. Not a whole lot, but he led when it counted most. Heather DeBow.
And William Sawalich is now officially the ARCA Menards East Series champion. You've worked really hard for this your whole career. How does that sound to have that title?
That's really awesome. We've worked all year to get to this point, and this Joe Gibbs Racing team has done an amazing job all year. Been fast everywhere we went. I didn't really think we could get them there, but then that caution luckily came out, and we could capitalize on that, and I'm really proud of this team, and we had a really fast Starkey Sound Gear Toyota Camry.
You struggled with being able to get the car into gear multiple times, so how nerve-wracking was that for you?
Yeah, a little nerve-wracking. I wasn't sure what was going on, but I figured it out. I can't believe I did that. It's the first time I've ever done that in this car, so we got the win, so it doesn't matter.
Congratulations. Enjoy. Jamie Little.
And congratulations to William Sawalich. Well, we just talked about the Reese's nominees. Perhaps the best one was the pass for the win, but let's take a look at the nominees here. Number 1.
Heavy traffic. That's how Jesse Love initially lost that lead to William Sawalich early in the race.
Nominee number 2.
Yeah, this is when Sawalich got by Landon Lewis for second. He constantly kind of just put him back into contention for winning. So that was a big move to get him to second, start in the front row.
And the last one, Phil, this was your call.
I love it. Just worked him. He was really faster. Jesse Love realized he was there. He gave him room on the bottom. Nice clean pass for the win for Sawalich.
Well, don't forget tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, you can vote on what moment you feel was the Reese's Sweet move of the race. Twitter, Facebook pages. I have a feeling I know what's going to win. Well, second place finisher. He dominated tonight, led 158 laps. Jesse Love is with Jamie.
And after all of those laps that he led, he parked the car here on pit lane. Took several moments before you took your helmet off and before you climbed out of the car. You just watched the replay of that pass. What do you reflect on now?
I think the pass was fine. It's going for the win at Bristol, so I'm not upset about it. Just man, obviously I'm gonna be genuine about it. It obviously sucks to lead that much and come up that short. I knew that once the track took a bunch of rubber, we kind of took a step back, and maybe we didn't need to make some of the adjustments we made at the break. Just I don't know. I just didn't want to stay consistent. I wanted to see if we can get a little bit better. But yeah, this track rubbered up a lot and lost a little bit of front grip, lost a lot of rear grip, and just obviously 18 was hooked up. So hats off to him. Glad Toyota won the East Championship. So congratulations, Toyota. And I just want to thank everybody at JBL. Give all the glory to God, and just try, keep on driving the lights out.
Always competitive, but still gracious. Jamie?
And that's Jesse Love, unofficially 131 points over the two of Andres Perez. 2 races to go in the ARCA Menard Series National Series. And even though this race is over, plenty more racing action to come. Truck Series race coming up at 9 Eastern. Ryan Blaney, thank you so much for your time. It was fun having you.
Appreciate you guys having me. It's a lot of fun. Always cool to do these ARCA Menard Series races, and we saw a heck of a race tonight.
For Ryan Blaney, Phil Parsons, our entire crew, I'm Jamie Little. So long. Race day is next.